The book review. What book will be reviewed today? Let's check them out. The Secret Powers of Masonic Symbols. Human Race, Get Off Your Knees, David Icke. And The Truth Shall Set You Free, again by David Icke, in one of his, as he says, favourite books that he wrote. Infinite love is the only truth, everything else is illusion. David Icke, Global Conspiracy. Zachariah Sitchin, End of Days, Zachariah Sitchin, The 12th Planet, or Alice in Wonderland and the World Trade Center Disaster, again by David Icke. I'm choosing the book that fucked my life. Or did it? Or did it just wake me up? Alice in Wonderland by David Icke. Dominoes, unbelievable. Anyway, we'll stick with the book. When the World Trade Center disaster happened, I, like everybody else, or probably 99% of people, believed the story. But after a while I started asking questions because I was watching all the news bulletins and I thought, they're telling us they knew who the people were who did it. They knew they were in a flying school. They knew they were going to catch planes that day. There's footage of them. So why didn't they stop it? So I thought they allowed it to happen. But after reading this David Icke book, I realised they didn't allow it to happen, that they actually did it. But you have to read this book to find out all the things that happen that they made happen. It starts off with the real agenda behind 9/11, where he talks about the Illuminati, bloodlines, way back, dates before Samaria, maybe 15,000 BC. And these bloodlines I could never understand when I first read in this book, because this was the first book that I read. I didn't understand, how can you continue on a bloodline? Isn't that becoming incest? But it's not the human DNA he's talking about, it's a different DNA to a human DNA. A reptilian bloodline, if you will. That's where you'll find out if you read the Zachariah Sitchin books, where we really came from. As David Icke says, if the Queen had a different bloodline, she'd be cleaning the throne rather than sitting on it. But it's all about bloodlines and where they come from, and why what was ruling the world 10,000 years ago is still ruling the world today. Why the symbols of 10,000 years ago still being used today. He talks about the Bush family and the crimes they're into. I mean, he couldn't say these things and get away with it if it wasn't true. Dick Cheney, how he owned the Halliburton company that sold the guns that supported the war in Iraq. Talks about all the other people involved in this big 9/11 scam. Problem, reaction, solution. Shows how they create the problem, we react, then they give us the solution they always wanted to put in place. One of those solutions you can see everywhere now is cameras. On every street light, every corner, there's cameras now to keep us safe. He talks about the hijackers, how they were in flying schools before they actually did the 9/11. He talks about what they did that day, how they bought return tickets on their flights, paid for their parking, everything of a person that knew they were coming back after those flights. The prior knowledge of all these people in the share markets, the movement in the share markets before it happened, the things that were being sold, people who left the building, the groups of people that must have known it was happening who didn't show up for work that day. Bin Laden did it. It talks about lots of the news bulletins that were telling you things that happened before they happened on that day. I think the 2 planes hit 2 towers, yet 3 towers fall. Building 7 came down. Many people even forgot about that. The 3 towers came down that day into complete dust, all in the same fashion. And one of the news bulletins reported that tower coming down before it came down. Behind the movie, From Here to Eternity. So it's a very in-depth book. There's transcripts of the flights, the conversations with NORAD, it's at the North American Air Force, something like that. Anyway, great book, recommended for the whole family for Christmas. That's right, the entire family. Why shouldn't your kids be reading this and learning the truth of the world? From the Sumerian bloodlines, well, to what really happened. That's right, great book for the whole family. Buy it for Christmas and give it to your 5-year-olds. That's been Radically Me Book Review.